This is Liz Colburn, host of The Morning Uplift. Thank you for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
The smallest of gestures can make the largest impacts. Welcome to Choose a Rise. Welcome to Public House Media. I am so glad that you're here with me today. I want to share with you today a few stories, a few ways that you can make an impact in the world. Because when you really think about it, it's the small things that we do on a daily basis that sometimes can make the biggest impact in people's lives. I was reading some personal development recently and I stumbled across this story that I want to share with you. So I'm going to read a chunk of it to you and just really kind of evaluate a little bit about how our daily actions, what we say, what we do, how we interact with people, how that really can have a profound impact on people's lives for the good and the bad. When you look at your own life, when you think about the people that are most influential in your world, what were the things that they did or said or how they behaved or how they responded that really, made a difference in your life? And then think about how you're doing that with other people. So let's kind of dive in here. The story is about two high school boys and it's kind of told in the first person. So that's how I'm going to tell it. But just know that obviously I'm not a high school boy. And the story goes like this. I was putting my books away and closing up my locker when I noticed this new boy who had just come to our school. We were about 2 weeks into our freshman year. I hadn't seen him before and I noticed he was really disheveled looking. As I was glancing over, I see that he's trying to get books out of his locker. He's got an armful of books ready to fall and a few of them have already fallen on the floor. I decided to help him, which was out of my character for me. I walked over and bent down to pick up a few books from the floor. I was on one knee. The new boy picked up a few books. I was on my knee when he was standing up, and I reached up to him and handed him a book. He was looking down at me with his eyes. I'd never seen anybody look at me with eyes like that before. The eyes were deeper than a normal thank you. Through his eyes and into my heart, into my soul, and an inner voice said, "Thank you for doing that." I grabbed the other books and handed them to him. We started chatting a little bit, and I learned his name was Stephen. Stephen was just come to our school from another school. We talked for a while and then decided to walk home together, which was also out of character for me. It turned out we lived just a couple houses down the road from each other. This walk home together became a routine. We started walking to and from school together, and eventually we became very good friends. Fast forward to senior year. I had watched this boy turn into a man. Stephen was the valedictorian of our class. He was also the prom king and the star athlete of our football team. He had a beautiful girlfriend. He was the kindest, most sincere, genuine person I knew. I envied the guy for he had the life he was living. I was also grateful for his closest friendship. Now it's graduation and we're in the auditorium. As valedictorian, of course, Stephen's about to give the announcement speech. I'm standing behind him. I can see that he's really nervous. I put my arm on his shoulder and tell him he's going to do a great job, that everything's going to be perfect, that he has so much to offer the students. He turns around while my arm is on his shoulder and looks at me with those same eyes he had given me during our freshman year when I picked up the books from him, and I felt it again. I felt that thank you that penetrates deeper than normal thank you. They call up Stephen as valedictorian, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say. He starts his speech talking about high school, how high school is a time when we have these different people in our lives who impact us. We have our parents, and he goes into how they impact us. He talks about our teachers and how we had so many amazing teachers in the school and the roles that they played in shaping our minds and helping us to vision and create an idea of who we want to become. But do you know what was the most important thing is, he says, the most important relationships we have during our high school years are with our friends. I never want to underestimate the power of simply caring about somebody, of performing a kind act and not worrying about yourself, not worrying about what others are going to think. When I first moved to this school, you were already 2 weeks into the school year, and I had just left another school because of the amount of teasing and bullying I had to endure there. I got picked on to the point that I couldn't stay there anymore. My parents moved us, and I started school here. My first day here, the bullying started again. I decided that I had had enough. At the end of the day, I decided to clear out my locker. I was going to commit suicide that day, and I didn't want my parents to have another thing to deal with. I figured if I cleared out my locker, I was one less thing that I would have to handle. As I was clearing out my locker, I was shaking and I was nervous and I kept dropping my books. Somebody came over, bent down, and picked up those books and handed them to me. In that moment, I felt hope. I felt love. I felt like just being able to figure something out and I was going to belong. That one kind of act of kindness and caring got me through the day. That one act of kindness started a journey which took me from who I was 4 years ago, the insecure, depressed, and anxious kid who was about to commit suicide, to where I am today. I want you to remember when you go out there into the world that we all need someone. We all need someone to lend a helping hand. We all need someone who cares. And finally, remember that you're never going to know who really is in need. So just make it a habit of leading with kindness and offering a helping hand when you can. Isn't that an amazing story? It hit me like a ton of bricks in the sense of, you never know who needs to hear what you have to say. You never know how opening a door or saying a kind word or doing something nice or just simple gesture like picking up some books can really help make someone's day brighter. So I want to share with you a few tips, a few small ways that you can make someone's day a little bit brighter. There's a lot of, the smallest of gestures can make the world such a better place. And simply showing up in someone's world, looking at ways that you can encourage other people and do other things for people. A lot of times people think generosity is like donating money or donating time. But did you know that the wealthiest 10% of Americans only account for 25% of the charitable giving in our country here in the United States? And that's also kind of crazy to think that the majority of the people that actually do donate and do provide resources of things are usually from the lower class, because they understand what it means to have something given to them. And so here's some simple things that you can do, like donate some supplies to a classroom. One of the things that I love doing every year as a former educator and having both my kids in the classroom is letting their teachers know that anything that they need throughout the year, we're happy to help them with. Like supplies get low, things get, kind of beat up sometimes, and they just need some replacements, and we are happy to help them with that. Feed someone. One thing that I love to do is when somebody moves to town or moves to our neighborhood, or I know that there's, something's happening in life, is bring a casserole, bring some cookies, feed somebody, do something. There's, hunger is a growing issue in our society. And, there's a lot of billboards all over here in our area that say 1 in 4 kids is going to go to bed hungry tonight, or 1 in 6 kids are going to have to skip a meal at some point because they're just not provided for them. So, feed somebody, do something for someone, donate food to a shelter, become a mentor in some way, building someone's confidence and helping someone work towards something, like becoming a mentor in the area of anything that you're good at or anything that you enjoy, is a great way to give back. And it doesn't really cost anything either. Pay it forward is another way that you can do it. Looking at a small but meaningful way to make an impact, you can try paying something forward. When someone demonstrates kindness to you, give it back to them. Reciprocate that kindness to somebody else. Do a good deed or unsolicited favor for someone even as a total stranger, and that will, be that feel-good feeling will continue to have reverberations or energy throughout the world by just paying it forward, by doing something good for someone. Pick up some trash, take care of the world around you, make the world a better place than when you found it. I know that when we go on our walks, there will oftentimes be, trash left behind, or, especially on Wednesdays after Tuesday's garbage day, there's trash places, and I'll just pick it up with me and throw it in the bag. And then when we I get to a trash can, I throw it away. Another thing that you can do is to volunteer. Being a volunteer lets you choose how to make an impact in your community, and it helps you care about and support the causes that matter to you most. Volunteering in an animal shelter, volunteering at a children's location, at a hospital, at wherever it might be that it's going to help you feel good and help other people in the process is always a good thing. Another way of helping out is tutoring someone. Find lots of schools, especially here in the United States, are always looking for volunteers to help tutor or to help, have kids read to them, any of those kinds of things. Another one that kind of goes with it, super simple thing, is to recycle, to take care of the earth and take care of ourselves and where we are. It's a great way to help out and just, know that you're doing something. Donate clothing, donate blood, donate your time, wherever it might be. There are so many simple ways that you can have an impact on somebody's life, whether it's making, giving a smile to people on the street, whether it's, being kind, like the boy in the story of picking up his books, of just extending a hand of kindness and gratitude and love to somebody. Even if you don't know them, you're going to have a positive impact on their life, and you never know where that positive impact is going to go. So if you are evaluating your life and you're thinking about all the ways that people have impacted you and in your life, I would have you, turn it around and try to figure out ways that you can help positively impact the lives of others. You'll feel that's kind of something's missing and that you want to do something for someone else. So go forward and be great today. God has given you everything that you need in this world already. So go out and fulfill those missions that create a deeper sense of fulfillment in yourself and make an impact on those around you. Volunteering opportunities are all over in your area. Get out and be amazing today. And thank you so much for joining me. If you want to hear more of Choose to Rise, head over to chooseriseup.com. Hit subscribe on iTunes and leave us a rating or review as well. That helps more people find us. And it also helps me know what podcasts you love and what other topics that you want to hear more of. So again, thanks so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.